but we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course, From Ridiculous to Radical to Real, This Means War. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, From Ridiculous to Radical to Real and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in the United States of America. I'm your host, Bishop David G. Evans, and joining me today, a special guest host.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my. Bishop Michael.
Don't do it, Bishop.
Anthony.
There you go. Don't do the middle name.
From
That's right.
Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Heart of God Family Worship Center. Hanover Street. Where we do life.
There you go. That's my part.
That's it. Got it. No notes. I got it down pat.
Praise the Lord.
Guess I should have preached there 100 times. I
Yes,
guess I
you
should have it there.
We thank God for you.
Well, yeah, just try to add on a little something every now and then.
Oh, no, you're doing more than that.
Give us a call today, 1-866-743-8267, 1-866-743-8267, 1-866-743-8267. If you can do the letters like I can't, 1-866-74-EVANS. Give us a call to the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. So much stuff going on.
Sure.
The impeachment hearings, Paula White saying that to disagree with say no to Trump would be saying no to God. And,
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then Franklin Graham came out yesterday with something very profound. He said anybody that disagreed, paraphrasing, is demonically possessed. You disagree with the president, you got a demon.
Wow.
Now, great fan of his father's, different kind of evangelism, but great fan, great effectiveness. His father had the wisdom not to bury himself in these issues like this. But I think when Pat Robertson is saying, look, guy's making some bad decisions, for Graham to come out and say anyone that disagrees with the president.
Now, Pat Robertson is a evangelical.
Oh, yeah,
am I correct?
yeah, but he, lately, he when it came to this whole, the matter that the impeachment hearing is all about, Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
when it came to that withdrawal and all, he said that, the administration had made a mistake. Now, he never talks against the administration. But for Franklin to say, and we go back and we don't go back and forth, we respond to one another on Twitter from time to time.
Okay.
For Franklin to say anybody that disagrees with a presidential position is demonically possessed is way out in left field.
Absolutely.
And basically he's saying if you disagree with me, the enemy has control of your mind. Now that's just stupid. It's just flat out stupid. I don't know how in the world we're willing to say anything to maintain a political position but compromise our position in the spirit. I don't get it.
It seems like immorality
Yeah.
from the president is approved
Amazingly.
by the evangelical
Amazingly.
group that's supposed to be so conservative,
Or at least overlooked. They act
Yeah.
like it doesn't exist.
because we that whole holy thing and righteous
Mm-hmm.
is not working now, because
Which is
this
amazing.
president seems to he does maybe one thing good, then 20 things bad.
Yeah.
And so how do you?
Well, they hang on to the one thing. Because here's it. Every Christian of his or her worth believes abortion is wrong.
Sure.
But most Christians believe you can't inflict what you believe on somebody that doesn't believe what you believe.
You sure can.
So the other thing is that my concern, are we concerned from womb to tomb? That's been my concern. So you're concerned about the child until he or she is born. And then it's all bets off. Wars, crime, guns, the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So it shows a concern for the child in the womb, but not concern for the child after the child is born. I think that's incongruous, and I think it's a mistake.
Sure.
I think it's not a God view of the whole issue.
Right.
Okay, so how can you care about babies but not care about young adults?
There's no balance there.
Well, there is none.
There's no balance there at all. But that's how they seem to want to enforce their beliefs. Is that based on this one section here?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna run with that.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be the seed that we're gonna work with.
Yeah.
But then we throw the rest of it out.
Pastor Nick explained to me that it's like this: get them saved, and then the heck with them. Let Jesus handle the rest, which is really a cop out.
Right.
The Lord put us here to make differences.
Sure.
Not he does one thing and we don't actively take participation of it. I was reading the other day. Jesus says, and this blows my mind. He says,
Is it in red?
Yes, in red.
Okay.
When I was sick,
Mm-hmm.
you fed. When I was sick, you came to see me. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. When I was in prison, you came to see me.
And he calls all those people his brother.
Right. So how do we disassociate ourselves as contemporary Christians from what the Lord said out of his mouth? And these groups that Jesus is describing, absolutely, some evangelicals I know think it's not the church's responsibility to help with this, nor the government's. Because I don't believe Christ was just indicting the Pharisees and the Sadducees. I think he was indicting the culture.
Right.
The governing people, the people that were religious, the whole thing. He says, as such as you've done to the least of these, you've done to me.
Sure.
So I'm wondering, where do we forget that part of what the Lord said was our mission? That really is the essence of outreach.
Well, it seems like we're shifting the mission
Okay.
from being Christ-centered
Mm-hmm.
to now looking for the approval of government officials.
Mm-hmm.
We like that kind of attention. We saw it before in
Yeah.
Jesus' day, the Pharisees and all
Yeah.
the other kind of stuff.
Yep.
They intermingled with the Roman government
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. So is that what is meant in that scripture that talks about their dead flies in the ointment?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're all this is going on right now because we're looking for some kind of some leverage somewhere in government.
Mm-hmm.
I heard one preacher say that God is neither Democrat nor Republican,
Right.
And that's true. You know what I mean? So how do we choose sides
But
that way? My political side is one thing.
Evangelicals are making them Republicans.
Sure.
I'm dismayed. Because what has happened and what I don't like about this whole scenario we're in right now is a silent wedge has been driven between
The church.
not so much the church, but relationships that I had for
Okay.
years, or thought I had. There was a distant admiration that hid the insidiousness of what was going on underneath. So we had what we thought were relationships with people that gave a degree of acceptance. But the guys I know in the faith movement just went through this, where they were told what happened is when the movement really got hot, all their children were small. So their children have grown up into adults,
Right.
and they've known each other for years.
So they date.
So now they're dating and they're talking and they're marrying and they're going together. And some of the faith leaders stood up and told them,
How I really feel came out.
This ain't biblical. You need to not do that.
How we really feel came out,
And,
right?
and yeah, and a lot of the guys that I know in the faith movement took great affront and realized they had been hanging around, of course, been a part of the movement, but there was a conditional acceptance. So now my children are grown, your children are grown. You've talked the love of Jesus all along. They don't see the difference in one another. They playing together, going to concerts together, at the conventions, they're sitting together. Then all of a sudden they hit a certain age, and you guys need to understand we need to be separate. We need to be in
Did
this
they not
thing.
expect that to happen?
I don't think they did.
I mean,
I think they naively thought. Well, I think there was a hope that it didn't.
wow.
Because the actual articulation of the situation drove a wedge for a lot of guys in the movement. And I've got some pretty strong friends in that movement. They were not comfortable, are not, and some of them started to separate, but others started to really speak up in profound ways, especially the guys that had the major houses.
Wow.
But Dr. Price went off about it. And it caused a problem. But it's like living next door to someone forever. And your children been playing in the backyard for forever.
Right.
And then they start growing up, and Johnny's coming over to take Kabira out on a date.
Kabira.
You
Kabira. He can come with nothing else but Kabira. Okay. Not Laquita.
Yeah,
Just Kabira.
Maximilian's coming over to take, LaQuisha out for a date, and the parents go nuts, and the kids don't understand. We've been playing together forever. I've known this child forever.
Right.
So where's the problem? The hearts of people are being revealed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Circumstance will reveal it, won't it?
Well, it will. I've always thought that crisis reveals character
Sure.
without fail. I saw something yesterday that I know will interest you. Gratitude explains my past, brings peace to my present, and vision to my future.
Wow.
Yeah. Just being gracious. Just being, having gratitude, grateful, will explain your past to you, give you peace in your present, and create a vision for your future. Just gratitude alone. Gratitude alone will cure entitlement. Thankfulness will cure entitlement, man. Mm-hmm. And I think in the society that we're in, I'm not sure how thankful we are.
We have a lot to be thankful for.
But I'm not sure we believe that. I think maybe sometimes we think we're owed it.
Well, we live with that the brutality of consumerism. When we get to that point,
Okay.
What we call the brutality of consumerism is that everything is self-centered. I need
True.
more.
True.
And I have, and unless I have more, or we believe the notion that there's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there's not enough, that means I got to hoard what I have.
Absolutely.
When the church itself, our hallmark should be our generosity.
Okay.
Because Jesus, God sent his only son, that he was very generous with us.
Mm-hmm.
Grace is generous. Mercy
Generosity, yes, it
is
is.
generous.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
a Christian that is selfish, self-centered,
It's not Christ-like.
It's not Christ-like.
So, but the brutality of consumerism has invaded Christians' lives.
Sure.
Because watch this. So, evangelicals don't like talking about prosperity, but they love having it.
Sure.
You know, how do you raise $200 million in a capital campaign, and then you say you don't like prosperity, when prosperity is producing the goods that you use to raise $200 million for your church.
Sure.
You know, so it's okay. It's okay for it to exist. They just don't want to talk about it.
Well, they don't want us to talk about it.
Well, they don't talk about it either.
Well, they don't want us to talk about it to experience it, but they like having it, of course.
Of course.
Now, I've had this conversation before, because in my area, of course, there is one of the lowest income areas in all of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
All right.
But you're sitting right next to Montgomery County.
Montgomery County is one of the richest counties
in the nation. Yes, sir.
But Pottstown, its borough, is one of the poorest.
So Montgomery County doesn't see any incongruity there?
Well, the problem is I don't think we've been as a faith community, I don't think we've been involved enough to be able to pull resources in. So when we start, as it relates to churches and faith-based relationships, we teach Christ, but we don't teach empowerment.
Well, and because I believe that what the church has to be wary of, well, not the church, what pastors or leaders have to be wary of is intentionally crossing the invisible lines of culture.
Okay. There's
some invisible lines there that are very easy to regard but never cross. You have to intentionally reach out. I found in our context, a couple years ago, we had a great prayer meeting here. People came from all over. The majority of folk that were in attendance did not look like us.
Okay.
So as a result of that, we had another meeting here, and I began to talk about, look, we need to be intentional about this, bringing our churches together. Sent out several invitations, no responses. Called, no responses. So it was enough glory for some of the leaders to have the conversation. To actually input what we were talking about, that was a little too much. It was enough to say, we talked about it, we planned it. And nobody ever said that, but there was no action on it. And we invited folk convocation to teach, church to come over.
Why do you think that is, though?
Well, I think there was a moment. There was a moment of, we need to do this. But I think at the same time, the meeting that we hosted here was a historic moment for the entire movement of this prayer thing they were doing.
Okay.
It was they hadn't seen it presented the way we presented. They hadn't had a crowd like that before. It
was just cosmetic then.
Well,
for them,
it seemed as though the dimension was troubling for them.
Okay.
You know, because as we were building to the meeting, there was a pre-type luncheon brunch type of thing, and
I remember that.
Remember that?
Yep.
And at that meeting, one of the guys walked up to me and said, "The only reason I'm here, white pastor, is to see what the big deal is." I'm talking about. I said, "Big deal? Yeah, your ministry, and to see if it was actually true." He said that to my face.
Wow.
You know, so I'm like, "Well, can I walk you around?"
Let me take you on the tour.
Let me take you on a tour. You know, let me do this. So that day, I took those pastors that were interested. I said, anybody wants to look around, come on. About half a dozen. I took them over and answered every question, and there was skepticism that we actually existed.
So the invisible line, this impression that we don't know what we're doing, that we can't do good ministry, that we don't have,
it's real.
We don't have the excellence that others may have.
It's real, and part of that is our fault.
Okay.
Because you can go to some African American led churches, and we appear not to know what we're doing. For instance, I've been very vocal about this.
I see.
The Whitney Houston funeral.
Okay.
The Aretha Franklin funeral. Both of those I thought were historic key moments where the African American led church had a worldwide opportunity to present the way it does things. And in both of those situations, it looked exactly like we didn't know what we were doing.
Wow.
Now, the Elijah Cummings funeral comes, and my friend Walter Thomas has control of that situation. 3 or 4 presidents there, tons of congressmen and congresswomen, whole nine, congresspersons, I guess you say, senators, you name it, they were there. I called him. I texted him first, then I called him later, and said, "You have redeemed my hope in the presentation of the way we do ministry." It was absolutely perfect.
Wow.
Presidents stuck to their time. They gave him 15. They took 15.
Okay.
Nobody went over like Bryson was like 45, 50 minutes making his remarks, and most of the people said nothing about the deceased at Aretha's funeral. It was one sentence about that, and then some kind of political statement.
It's a campaign.
I felt like I was watching. Yeah, I felt like I was watching one of those hearings in the Senate where there's a question buried in there somewhere. You know, I'm like, come on, guys. It's a tribute to the person in the box.
Right.
But it's some of these perceptions of us we created. Because I know, and we're not expert on anything. I go places, and the inefficiency is so blatant, but it's culturally accepted. I just think it's not. I think it does not do well. I think it does not present Christ in the way that he should be presented.
Sure.
There's more to what we do than our enthusiasm.
Right.
You know, and I'm not downing enthusiasm at all.
Right.
There's more, but there is more to what we do than enthusiasm. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Because you're so vocal on it, you have said everything.
Yeah. I feel very strongly about it.
Can nobody dispute this today? We're gonna just.
I feel very strongly about it.
Anybody got a mallet? It's been written and been done.
1-866-743-8267. 1-866-743-8267. Let's switch to sports for a minute. I wonder if Lisa Smith is listening anywhere. I think they're down south somewhere. I forget.
Is she a Cowboy fan?
What state? Yes, she is a vocal, rabid, consistent Cowboy fan that says nothing when they're doing nothing, but has a lot to say when they start winning games. But I got the impression they're 6-6.
Well, I don't know what their record is.
Was it 9-9 or 6-6?
I'm not sure what they are. I don't pay attention to them, like I don't pay attention to the Eagles.
I watch yourself. Careful. Careful.
Here we go.
Careful.
You can. That's all right. Nothing can change that.
If Crass is not sending you a check, you're wearing that in vain.
Oh, here we go.
So the Cowboys are in danger of losing their coach.
Really?
Jerry Jones is saying stuff publicly in his press conferences that, you know, the coaching is the problem. I don't believe the coaching is just the problem.
Jerry is the problem.
I believe they need to go.
Period.
I believe they need to go back to positioning Dak Prescott the way they did when he first came in the league, and let him throw within his ability. They're trying to get him to do stuff he can't do. So their offense is not doing well at all. Now, since we're talking about offense,
come on, we can talk about offense.
You know, you guys are like 9 or 10-1?
We are
10-1?
9-1, I believe it is.
Now, are you willing to admit that there is a obviously diminished skill set in your quarterback?
That's not the problem. The quarterback is not the problem. We don't have a deep threat.
Wait a minute.
No,
he doesn't have a deep arm anymore.
Listen, when Antonio Brown was there at the beginning of the season, he was throwing strikes.
You know what?
I'm sorry.
No, you know what?
I'm sorry.
The problem
this is your program. I can't argue with you on
the
your
problem that I have with you Patriot fans.
I'm not going to win. I'm not going to win this on this program.
The problem that I have.
It's not a problem.
The problem I have with you Patriot fans.
Let me be quiet. I know I have to submit now.
No, I said the problem I have with you Patriot fans is you sound like Trumpsters to me. So the reason I'm saying, let me tell you why I said.
We're throwing
tell me why. No,
jabs, shots fired.
I'm going to explain why I said.
Go ahead. It's all right.
Why I say this, we're talking about Brady and his ability or inability. And the first thing you do is pivot and go to Antonio Brown. Is he on the team?
Let me just say this to you.
Is he on the team? You sound like the president referring to Obama in every situation.
You said.
Come on, man. Let's talk about Brady.
Okay, let's talk about Brady.
His skills diminished a bit. I think what's helping him, defense is doing a wonderful job.
But the defense is the
and
MVP
the coach
this year.
is out-coaching everybody that they play.
Well, of course. We have the greatest organization and the greatest coach and the greatest quarterback. Admit all that. Please admit to all that.
The greatest quarterback?
Yes.
You mean playing right now?
Is there one better?
Playing right now?
Is there one better?
Playing right now.
Is there one better?
Yes.
Who?
That's playing right now.
Who? What? No. Don't go here now. Who is there one better? Ever?
You want to do a history lesson?
You give me the history lesson in Bishop David G. Evans.
Now you're the guy. Now wait a minute.
No.
Let's do a minute. Let's do a little background.
He is now throwing it on me.
No, let's do a little background.
Because I'm not allowed to talk. Everything you're
allowed to talk. You're the guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my father, and I will not dispute against him on his own radio show. I realize that I could be in danger of losing someone. No, we won't lose the relationship over this. But there is a problem here. In this situation, I think I need to revive him and get him back to the altar somewhere.
This is what makes me have sympathy for Linda. Now,
oh my God, she's watching this.
This is my problem. You tend, when we're talking about this, to talk about the significance of rings when it's to your advantage.
We do have another topic, the Navy.
And the insignificance of them when it's not to your advantage.
Right? Don't we have to talk about the Navy SEAL?
And the insignificance when it's not to your advantage. You tend to talk about rings when it meets your advantage. Another Trump tendency. They don't want to talk now. Okay.
Well, I'm not allowed to talk.
No, what you mean you're not allowed? Let's talk about Colin Kaepernick. What do you think happened?
No, we're gonna go back to Tom Brady.
No. You don't want to have.
We're going back to Tom Brady.
You don't want to have a whole conversation about Brady.
You just did, right?
You don't have.
That's right. That's why you keep your job.
You said you couldn't talk. I'm adjusting my conversation so you can talk.
All right. We can talk. We can talk about Colin Kaepernick.
All right. Let's talk about Colin Kaepernick.
Okay. So Tom Brady.
I'll stop calling. No. So listen. Colin Kaepernick.
All right.
My show. Colin Kaepernick.
Okay. I have to compare them.
No. Don't compare. No. Don't compare.
I have to compare.
One's playing. One's not playing.
Well.
And you would compare Brady to someone that wasn't even in the game. But let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Colin Kaepernick. And I got to stop calling him Colin Kaepernick because that's not his name.
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin. Okay. Now, what do you think happened with him?
He made a big mistake. I don't mind him having his own workout, but why didn't he invite the press? And maybe he needed to have some other NFL teams, some teams that may have shown some interest.
He had an audience and decided he didn't want to have it there.
Yeah.
So now they can say we gave him a shot.
Yeah. Because they knew when they settled with him that those owners had conspired together not to let him get opportunity to be on the team at all.
Why didn't he just have the 25, 30 guys look at him? The world would have been watching. And people would have seen he's better than half the guys that have starting positions right now.
I don't know what he was thinking about.
I think the whole entitled, I'm going to do it my way, I think he went a little too far.
Now, how old is he?
30-something.
30? 32? So he still has something left in the tank. Left. Because like Tom Brady, who's 40-some years old.
And can't throw downfield anymore.
He still has a lot left in the tank.
Needs it. See? Look. He had to go back. Who needs Antonio Brown not to catch a pass, but take a handoff from him?
All I'm saying is we do not have a downfield presence. We don't have a speed receiver.
Which is why he needs.
That's all right.
He needs guys to take handoffs. Right. He doesn't need to throw it.
We are 9-1.
Yeah, and I said yes.
Thank you.
And I think it's your defense.
Our defense is off.
Because even Brady is complaining about the offense.
Sure.
All right, because they ain't doing nothing.
Right.
And he's the quarterback.
Right.
Okay, so.
Colin Kaepernick, though.
Wait a minute. No, you pivoting back. No, you brought it up.
Let's talk about Colin Kaepernick.
All the years I've known you, you told me that one of the great things about New England is that they can plug anybody in and the system works.
Well, our wide receivers have been injured.
They got anybody's there.
We've had a lot of injury, and they have just come back over the last 2 weeks.
But that excuse doesn't work for everybody else.
Well, we'll see what happens this week. We play.
They can't even cheat and win. That's pretty bad.
All right.
But
Colin Kaepernick.
They got the greatest coach, I think, almost in NFL history.
And the greatest quarterback. They go together.
No, not necessarily.
How many times have you been to the Super Bowl?
I think you've been a lot. I think you've been a lot.
Well, y'all said we cheated. Okay.
Yeah, but you don't think you did?
Listen.
You said it didn't matter whether they cheated or not.
I'm not going to go through all those changes, whether or not they cheated.
There you go. You're a Republican again. You didn't matter whether they cheated or not. So all of a sudden, ethics doesn't matter to you in football.
Ethics does matter to me in football.
No, you said it didn't matter whether they cheated or not.
Listen, did they take the Super Bowls from them? Players win games.
Don't get me started about the ownership.
Players win games.
Don't. We want to
talk about the
ownership.
Listen, I'm not going to defend this. I'm not going to defend this behavior. No. That's a setup. Let's go back to Colin Kaepernick. Exit stays right.
Oh God.
No, Mr. Kraft. No, sir.
So what do you think about this forgiving student debt? Some people are speculating it would boost the economy.
Well,
I don't agree.
you don't agree?
No. I'll tell you why I don't agree.
know.
I'll tell you why I don't agree. The companies, whoever is being paid, is going to experience a problem if they're not getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
The government is not saying they're going to pay the debt for them, are they?
No.
They just expect whoever is owed to let it go.
Just going to forgive it.
So if we let it go, does that not increase the debt of the country?
Sure.
Or am I looking at it incorrectly?
Well, I think it has to start at how much education costs, period.
Well, you got a point
You know
there.
what I mean? And, how much, the student loans and stuff like that are outrageous. You're talking about a house payment. You're talking about a small mortgage, man.
Monthly, right?
$1,200 a month.
Is that how much they're paying?
Man, I got a son who's went to a private school, and he is paying and got a $100,000 scholarship over 4 years, but still is paying right now $1,200 a month.
For how long?
Listen, I'm trying to get him out the house right now.
He can't afford to go nowhere.
But for me, I have a personal bias here. For me,
if they forgive
it, I can get him out. Because I thought it was supposed to happen in November, and here I am, great hit December, and he's still there.
I thought you said his mother was watching.
I don't care if she's watching or not. I got plans for the room. I got the paint. I got the stuff I want to put in there. I just thought maybe, look, I thought he was leaving.
Now give it 2 more times.
Glory, please, Father, do something. Maybe God should move in this. But I don't know. I don't know if it's going to cure. This is what they're saying, is that if they forgive some of the student debt, that some of the people that have these enormous debts to pay will begin to buy homes. It will spur some kind of spending spree or whatever.
Okay.
But we spending money anyway.
That normally does not flow out the way they predict. Not everybody is going to do something. I think okay, maybe somebody goes out and buys a car, people buy clothing. I get that would stimulate, quote unquote, the economy. But does it help the consciousness of the country that I just don't need to pay this because I might not have to pay it? Is it helping young people develop into responsibility, or are we living at home forever?
Well,
because it seems to be a millennial acceptance that I'm going to be at home till I'm 40.
no, they can't be home till they're 40.
No.
No, that's not God anywhere.
You can't feel the Lord in that?
The Lord is not moving in that. I'm giving opportunity for you to get yourself together.
Yes.
I think you have to, because you have to deal with what you have to deal. You have to reposition yourself financially.
I get it.
And you have to go and get what you can afford.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I don't know that the forgiveness thing is going to work, because I think the root, once again, all we're doing is putting the Band-Aid on the thing that we really need to go and solve.
True.
You know what I mean? So
you're saying that's the cost of education.
The cost of education.
Now, do you think community college ought to be free to people that want to go to community college?
Well,
and then who's going to pay for that?
Well, the whole problem is I don't understand who's going to pay for that.
Well, debt has to be put in place for those things to happen.
I mean,
because the people
our
giving
community colleges
participating have to. Yeah.
Do they get state funds?
Well, the state's going to have to support that. So that means budgets goes up in the state, and watch what happens. And that means taxes have to go up. So these ideas are great, but they must be paid for because there's no new money.
Well, we just had discussion downstairs about fair funding.
Okay.
And Pottstown, which has a circumference of 5 miles, its district is underfunded by $13 million a year for the school district. Okay. And the way they set it up, and just in short, if I promise you $10, if I have $10 a week to meet a budget, mm-hmm. I'm going to create opportunity for one district to get 6 of those dollars.
Okay.
Then I'm going to pass a law that keeps that 6 there in that district.
Okay.
Create another law that says I have to share the other 4 with the rest and give them some. Mm. So now you talking about kids are supposed to get somewhere around $4,000 a child mm-hmm. in a little small town. But the issue now is we're short $13 million, which means they want to raise taxes. This would certainly keep taxes low. This would call people to want to move into the city. This will help us as it relates to revenue and so forth and so on. But we can't do that because it's $13 million a year. Not $1 million, not 2, but $13 million.
I know of a municipality that did not decrease significantly the violence in the city so that the allotment per child could stay at about $16,000 instead of being $12,000.
Wow.
And when they got a principal who actually had the kids come into school, violence was decreased in the school. All the right things. Grades started going up. Test scores started skyrocketing. They set him up for a scandal to get him out of the school so they wouldn't lose the extra $4,000 a student. Oh, I'm not talking about what I heard. I'm talking about what I know.
Wow. So they wouldn't lose. So
they
his
would-
success was a problem.
Yes, sir.
Or her.
They need for the situation to say is dire so they can get the money they've been getting. Now you're talking about a system where some students don't have books. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. The only reason I know about it is I was involved on the tail end with the individuals who were a part of the setup because they were offered jobs in the city. So they helped set the young man up so they could get jobs. But it all came out, and one of the shepherds in the city, we got together and started talking about how to do it, how to manage it. But it was real. The young man came and did a phenomenal job, and they were in danger of losing from 19 to 12. So they were looking at $6,000 or $7,000 loss in allotment. So they managed. We need to keep it critical, keep it messed up.
But even with all that funding, there were still no books.
Looked like the schools weren't getting any money at all.
So who's getting the money?
Who do you think?
Okay. Okay. They drive in it. They live in it.
So then what you do? You create a charter school, and the allotment comes to you.
Bishop, it's called organized crime.
Yeah, that's what I call it.
It's called organized
That's what
crime.
I call it. That's what I call it.
It's called organized crime.
So they say the Navy Secretary resigned or got fired because he had issue with the president undoing a rule for a guy that took a picture with somebody killed in Afghanistan.
And so it's a rule then. It was a rule.
That's the law. You're not supposed to do that.
Okay. Then he was supposed to get what he was supposed to get.
It's not like you went to Africa and shot a lion and you got your foot up on the lion's back.
Here's my problem: is this president has no military background.
None. Yes, he does.
Right.
He watches stuff on TV.
Okay. He has no military background, and so now you're interfering again. And watch this. This guy, this Navy SEAL that did that. This is probably not the first time he's displayed this kind of behavior.
No, but what happens is you don't want that lawlessness. You don't want in the back of people's minds, I can do this and the president is going to get me off.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, I thought I heard him throw Giuliani under the bus this week.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. What?
Insurance policy.
Giuliani said what?
He says if the president throws me under the bus, I have an insurance policy.
See?
Wow.
That's an admission right there. You know something.
And then the next
Wow.
day he said he was only joking.
No, he
No,
wasn't
he
joking.
wasn't joking.
Giuliani.
He wasn't joking.
So the corruption runs deep.
1-866-743-8267, 1-866-743-8267. It's already 10 of the hour. Let's go to Danny from Florida. Hey, Danny, how you doing? Danny.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Good morning.
Good morning, Bishop and staff and everyone today.
How you doing, man?
Pretty good. I'm going out. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do today. Maybe
Just the
I
weather
don't know. Weather's beautiful and just enjoying it. And how's the weather up your way?
We're in the 40s today, Danny. The low
What?
40s.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We had a low. We were in the I guess about 72.
You had a low of 72?
Yes.
Yeah.
Overnight.
And you're trying
So,
to decide whether you're going to go fishing today or what?
maybe to the beach or something. I don't know.
I used to like when you called.
I have to say that low because your sister will get on my case if I say anything.
That's good.
In that way, yeah, she gets all over me about that.
That's good.
But Bishop.
Thank you for looking out for me.
Okay, Bishop. You all a couple of weeks ago, you all really did it in, and you really got me. And some of my friends, we were in tears. The program that you all did for Veterans Day,
Oh,
outstanding, outstanding, Bishop.
Was it effective?
Oh man, I was in tears, really,
Wow.
because no one ever does anything. The people talk, but no one goes, to actually show.
Okay.
And I mean, the whole church, everything from the dancing, the music, the sermon, everything was just outstanding. And once again, I thank you all for remembering and doing that. You some people don't know how much it means to veterans when they're acknowledged like that.
Okay.
And I often wondered. I said, and I talk about this with my friends. I said, I don't know how Bishop, he knows how to with veterans, he knows how to talk with us. And I said, I used to think that he was a veteran, but he said that he's not. But
No.
I get that feeling that you are. But
No.
then when I saw the amount of veterans that you have in the congregation, I said, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And you have a way of getting us to talk when you say, well, I want to ask you this, but you don't have to answer if you don't want to. But tell me this, and you feel relaxed. You say, okay, let me go ahead. But I always thought that you were a veteran, but
No.
now I know how you get the expertise of knowing how to deal with it. So
I didn't know.
God bless you.
I didn't know how poignant a moment it was until a couple of my, really hard guys were in tears on the altar. It was very moving. I thought the Lord really, really, really guided us, and we do something every year, but it just felt different this time.
God bless you.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
telling you.
So what else going on down there, man? Work good?
Well, I'm watching, the political things that are happening. I see someone now wants to change their location, their citizenship to Florida now, and
Yeah, the president, but he can't outrun the law, so he can move. He can move to Timbuktu if he wants to. They coming to get him.
so it's just something else how they maneuver and do different things. And
Yeah.
I didn't see why they were trying to get a different person here as far as in charge of the election in the county that I'm in, which is Broward.
Okay.
And also a new sheriff. Now it comes to light. Okay, they're trying to change the scenery. They're trying to change the looks of the area. And
Is Broward where he's coming?
No, he's going to Palm Beach.
Okay.
hmm
Okay.
Which is the county north of us.
Okay. Unbelievable stuff, man. I just, I'm Pastor Anthony and I were basically talking about those of us that are in ministry who have decided that our the integrity of the ministry is worth less than a seat at the table.
Well,
That's basically what we're seeing.
hmm
They used to hate Paula White. They called her a heretic.
uh-huh.
And now she's, the head of whatever, and Jeffers and all those guys are publicly acting like they support her. I know privately they still don't.
hmm
But they're acting like, she's the best thing since sliced bread. And a lot of the guys that we know and have been here to preach, who were really cursed by evangelicals, are now accepted because of a political position. How do you just throw away what you say you believed and what you said was biblical all these years, and all of a sudden that same person is acceptable? When did they stop? I know I've said it 1,000 times. If Barack Obama has showed up on a national political platform
Yeah.
with 3 baby mamas,
hmm
watch this, 7 kids from them baby mamas, and the transitional woman on the stage at the same time.
Transitional.
The transitional one. 'Cause the one he was going with was standing next to all 3 transitional women on the platform. Did that make sense, right? I'm like,
He never got that far.
if President Obama had showed up in that context, no moral compass, not fit for the presidency, blah, 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 blah. Evangelicals, it's Cyrus from the Bible.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even wear a different suit. You know, the color.
The biggest crime he had was having a bracket at the NCAAs on the blackboard at the White House. And a tan suit. Come on, man. I tell you, my sister doing all right?
Yes, she's blessed, and she is, singing along with the choir now. You know, and
Good.
She loves the selection, the music, and the entire program.
Good.
And she didn't say too much on Veterans Day to me, but she got the drift of what was going on as far as I was concerned.
Wonderful.
But once again, Bethany, I really thank you all, and God bless you. You may not know, but so many people are touched by what's going on, and just convey that to the congregation how much we appreciate that.
I thank you, Danny.
Okay.
I hope to see you soon, man.
Okay, we'll do.
All right.
You, let me know when you're coming back this way.
I will, man.
All right.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Now, I was talking to Bishop Sharoni yesterday.
Okay.
And we were talking about how the culture has become a culture of specialists. In that, you major in one thing in college, you can only do this one profession, blah, blah, blah. And I happened to bring up to him, I said, when I was coming through, they said the liberal arts education was the most complete education you could get because it prepared you to do more than one thing.
Okay.
He said there is now discussions about the reemergence of the liberal arts curriculum in colleges because they realize they're turning out people that can only do one thing, and they can't, they're not versatile.
Wow.
So he said this liberal arts thing is coming back. Let's talk to Walter before we go. Hey, Walter, we got 1 or 2 minutes. How you doing?
I am well, sir. How are you?
We're doing great. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Happy holidays to everyone.
Same to you, man. What's happening out there in Dayton, man? I know some folk from Dayton.
I know you do. You mention that from time to time in your sermon.
Yeah, man.
I have a question. Maybe I have an observation.
Okay.
Isn't a part of this how they clinging to Trump the same way that they cling to Nixon to get over the try to minimize the effect of Martin Luther King?
Absolutely.
Has Franklin learned from his? He can't learn from his father's mistake. His ministry suffered for decades after everything came out about Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
And for our Patriots fans,
Yep.
Yes, the O-line suffers, but Brady's quarterback skills have eroded. And the last thing is, I've coached tennis.
I hope you see my
in
face.
college.
You did what
And
now?
I've coached tennis in college.
Okay.
And quite a few of my players went to medical school.
Okay.
And some of them were on student loans, some of them doing whatever to get there. Some of the interest rates on these loans, it's not the loan, it's the interest rate.
Really?
Some of these kids I'm like, it's more than what I paid for my first house.
Wow.
The interest rate was higher. I had credit problems, but I had money. So
Okay.
when they signed it over, well, we won't want money, but we'll let your wife sign for the house. One of those deals.
Yeah.
And I looked at the interest rate. They told me, well, in a couple of years we can refinance and get it back down. I'm looking at the same paperwork that these kids are paying for undergrad and graduate school.
Mm-hmm.
The interest rate is what's killing them. That's why it takes 20 years.
I didn't realize the interest was that high on those loans.
Oh yeah. Remember when Obama went before the Congress and asked them to do something about student loan debt?
Yeah.
And all they came up with was make it easier for kids to get the student loans,
Mm-hmm.
but they kept the interest rates the same.
Wow.
That was the bad thing.
So there really was no relief.
None whatsoever. They all it was getting a bigger net.
Wow. Thank you, Walter. That was
Y'all
some good
take care,
information, man. Have a good day tomorrow.
You too.
Bye-bye now. Well, Bishop Michael Anthony, thanks for joining me today.
It's my pleasure, Bishop David G. Evans.
We have time, right? What? My thing says 10:05.
I don't know what you're looking at. It's 9:52.
Oh my! I'm looking at the screen. I thought we were done.
That screen gets plugged in once a week.
Okay. Well, then we ought to adjust the time so your pastor's not making
I didn't know you
look like you can't tell time. Look, I'm talking like I'm using a sundial up in here. Very, very imprecise.
So you know your countdown person always gives you the count.
I just, I'm just trying to say. So, all right, man. Now, Microsoft experiments for a 4-day work week, and productivity jumps by 40%.
Makes sense to me. Got some people got some time off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm all right with that. Can we get that in the school district?
I've known some folks that work a 4-day week, but they work, 10 hours a day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they have but it shifts. Okay. Sometimes they work Monday through Thursday, Tuesday through Friday, that type of thing. So 40%, that's something. Now, does Microsoft have? I wonder what their worker percentage is of older and younger, and I wonder how bad it was for it to go up 40%.
I think they have a younger.
Me too.
A younger group, right?
Yeah. I mean,
maybe the younger group can't stay focused for 5 days.
I
mean, listen, they have a short attention span.
Well, I have to agree with you because
5 days is too much for them.
I've talked to a few people working in companies, and they don't like the fact the job expects them to do something. Serious business.
Mm-hmm.
It's too structured.
Most of them are not on time.
They don't want. I need a flexible time to come in. I need
5
flex time
minutes
to go.
late is okay.
Flex time to go home. When I get here, I need to have my coffee and I need to do my atmospheric reading and all this other stuff before I start doing my work. And then we need a place where we can roller skate in the building and
Check social media.
Yeah, I got to do my social media stuff, and you're interrupting my flow, asking me to work. But when are we getting a raise?
Right. They don't work hard at all.
You're right. I need a stress day.
And stress day, is that all? Paid medical leave.
Mm-hmm.
I need to come in, not feel like working, and can I take one of my days?
Oh, I'm not feeling good now.
Like, man, come on, you got to work with a little pain, man. You got a little stress.
You got to work with some of the challenges that go on at home. You got,
Exactly.
what I mean. Even if, as long as I can remember, and I'm a product of a single mother.
Okay, so am I.
That when I was sick, she didn't always stay home. She couldn't.
Couldn't stay home. She went to work.
She had to work that thing out.
You watched her go to work sick.
That's right. She used to put that Vicks on you and get you out the door. You going to the babysitter today.
Because I got to go to work.
Got to go to work.
Look, man.
And when I come home, when you get home, I used to be in the house 7, 8 years old by myself.
Okay.
If I ring that phone twice and hang up, you better be answering the next time I call.
I know that's right.
And don't answer the door for nobody.
Oh no, nobody's allowed in the house. You're not allowed outside. Not even on the step.
Didn't have microwaves.
No.
Had to put the plate on the stove, start the stove with the water in the pan and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Taught you how to do stuff.
Yeah. You had the string bean stain on the plate. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Some of them don't know what I'm talking
No,
about.
they have no idea.
Yeah, that was real living right there.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't know.
Yeah, y'all look at Jeff's face, poor baby.
I had to make lunch and stuff for my brother, man. I wasn't but 6 years older than him. I'm taking care of that dude.
Listen, liver-wish sandwiches. I don't even eat liver-wish anymore.
That's how I'm about Spam
Don't do it.
and hot dogs.
Lord have mercy.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I haven't had it since I've been grown.
not
Back
when
in the day, it was good.
I didn't think it was good because I had it with everything.
You better come home with that brown bag at least 3 days in a row, or you didn't get a new one.
I had Spam every conceivable way.
One used lunch bag because she used wax paper.
I remember wax paper.
Remember wax paper?
Yes.
I remember wax paper.
Wax paper worked.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody the other day. We were reminiscing about 25 cents a gallon for gas.
Wow.
25 cents. You could fill your car for like $10, $8, $6, depending. I remember it being like 19 cents one time.
Wow.
It was amazing. Now when I go, I don't even look at the pump anymore. I just put it in. It's too much of a cultural shock for me. I just, I remember when I used to pay 19 cents a gallon. It's like, wow.
A lot of money now.
Doc. And they used to have those 26-gallon tanks. You fill that boy up for what? $14 from E?
Mm-mm.
And then ride all week long. Now,
A lot of block riding going on.
Doc.
What's the gas thing?
Shoot, I paid $3 some odd cent the other night. I just happened to look. I looked away quickly.
Put it in there.
Yeah, just go ahead and put it in, man. It's just, I think it'll take this amount. Just go ahead.
I know when my needle says it's time to only put $40 in.
Yep.
As soon as it gets there, just fill it up.
Yep.
40.
Yep. That's how. Not
I have to
look.
time it out.
And every now and then when they change the price, my estimation just a little off. I just you don't quite get to the line.
But we like to come to Jersey because
Yeah,
gas
plus-
is a lot cheaper here.
and we pump for you.
Yes.
You got to pump your own gas in
Got to
Pennsylvania.
pump your own gas and everything.
Every state except for two.
And it's higher.
Folk come over here to get gas, man.
Absolutely.
Every state except for
I'll
two.
pay $5 to get over the bridge just to get gas.
Just get some gas. That's amazing to me. That's amazing to me. How things have gotten better, but they've gotten tougher. We got 1 minute, man. Thanks, Anthony.
Bishop, thank you for letting me come on.
No,
again.
man, it was wonderful, man. Time went so fast.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
No, man. Heart of God's doing some things tomorrow, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
We got one service in the morning, 10 a.m.
Okay.
We got a guest at 6 o'clock coming in from Tennessee. Magnificent man of God coming tomorrow night.
Okay.
Unbelievable. So we're looking forward to it. You got 2 services tomorrow, one.
Just one.
One, what time?
At 11 a.m.
Hanover Street, right?
Hanover Street.
Heart of God.
201 North Hanover.
North Hanover.
Street. Yes.
Heart of God.
Family Worship
Family Worship
Center.
Center. Where we do life.
Yes, sir.
I understand. Can't make it to Pottstown? Come to Lindenwall so you can be transformed one at a time. We got going on. I'm Bishop David J. Evans. Bishop Michael Anthony.
Lord have mercy.
Faith acts like a thing is so even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.